How's it going, Mickey?
SK, good to see you. Well, not really, actually.
I was going to say likewise, but under these circumstances, I don't know if I can say likewise. Not the way I anticipated crossing paths on a Sunday, I'll be honest. But here we are.
Well, let's bring it back to a Saturday. What happened from what you've been told? Because you know how these things go. Everyone tells you a different story. What's your side of the story, Sparky?
Well, I wasn't there for starters, but from what I know, some belongings were taken off of an ex-king. I believe he was at the money run spot or something like that, right? And he got robbed. He got a civilian gun took off him or something, right?
Sparky.
That's what I heard as well.
Okay, so we're aligned there. I guess the question is from there, obviously that's just the bullet points, right? OTT, robbed of a civilian gun. What's the energy after that on your side of the field, you know? Like, I'm assuming that was a big deal for the king.
It was. I spoke to Matt. As Matt described it to me, he said that it was nothing deep. It was just a lick, an opportunity. And our energy after that was, that's fine. We will take this opportunity to respond with how we see fit. The thing is, for a long time, SK, company has had to operate with our tail tucked between our legs because we did not have sufficient firepower. Now we do. And so we are changing how we operate. Especially when it comes to a board member, we don't want them being robbed, pressed, etc. So if they are, we have to respond. Do you understand?
So would you say you're streetifying the company?
No, I'd say we're protecting our assets.
King is an asset. Boy, can that guy sing.
I know. Cream Pie Remix is truly remarkable, albeit concerning with its lyrics. But I digress. That's not the point here. You understand what I'm getting at, though.
I understand what you're getting at, and to be transparent...
It's not just gangs that shoot people.
Oh, no, 100%.
Okay?
Many people get shot, and many people shoot.
You should look at what Nestle does.
As in this, like the fucking cereal company?
No, the water company. They hire entire warlords to do work for them. They have full-on military operations.
Wow.
Oh, it is actually the same company.
Oh, yeah, I thought so. It was a cereal. So I've been doing some observations since I've been present, right? I wasn't around yesterday, but I've had the filling in today, and I've seen a couple bits and bobs this morning, right? I see two sides of the coin, and I see you on one side, and I see your associates on the other. I don't think you're a person that wants violence. I think that's not hard to see. But I think you've got a lot of hungry individuals who do want violence on the other side of the coin. So right now it's a little, you know, pulled in one direction from you, but pulled in another direction from the others.
No. Let me be very clear here. While I'm a board member who is least inclined to violence, and yes, if I ran the company as sole CEO, I would avoid it at all costs, but I am not the sole board member. And there are others to consider. And given the fact that I have to think about the wishes and desires of the entire company, despite being the least prone to violence, I agree with this decision. In fact, I was the one who woke up and immediately said, we don't even need to wait for Benji. We can retaliate as we see fit.
Okay. So I guess my question is, right, obviously you are protecting your assets. Was that not something you was doing prior? Because you obviously said now you got guns. That's things have changed, right?
Yeah, the scale of retaliation has changed.
Okay. So what was at the time, there must have been a resolution laid out, right? I'm pretty sure I heard the OTC wanted his gun back in $5,000 or something like that, right? Like a fee for damages, I guess you could say.
I think he had money taken off him as well as his gun. I'll be honest with you. In all of these sorts of conflicts, people are way too focused on material assets. It's actually interesting coming from a company man myself. I could care less about that. What I care about is the respect is actually the biggest issue. That's why we have to respond this way. If we don't, what's to stop Benji Ramos from being robbed, Raymond Romanoff, or even myself? As I discussed with the board members, an action against us needs a swift and severe response.
I mean, I would do the same thing, vice versa, right? I think a lot of it lies with the issue with respect, right? And I've seen this with a lot of people we have connections with, and also people that had connections with us. There's a big difference between organization respect and individual respect. I think there's a lot of individuals within your organization that have respect because, you know, we cross paths a lot more. I would say OTT is one of them people that hasn't crossed paths with, you know, us Manor Boys that frequently to have built the respect that we've got for others. I'd love it to be the latter, but I think, can you really fully respect an entire organization when you only truly know a handful of them? You know, earning respect to me as scientists built up over time and acquired.
Well, I think respect can be earned in many ways. One of those ways is over time. And we've actually had good, I think, albeit we don't really operate on too many business agreements with you. I think there's never been friction between us and the manor before. But I'll agree, we haven't really built up any sort of businesses, relationships, etc., or cross paths too much to build up that respect. The academy being, you know, my sort of project, not necessarily a company project. However, respect can also be earned based on the type of response to disrespect. We see this as a
Sparky,
sign
how
of
many
disrespect,
cigarettes have you
and we
smoked
have to
while in
respond
that meeting?
accordingly.
There's at least 4.
I would say, right, that I agree.
He's nervous
But
smoking.
the
Leave him alone.
friction thing is actually not fully true. You have a cow, right? Dead ass, yo.
Yes, Mr. Mao.
Mm-hmm. Let me enlighten you to some context. Mr. Mao, what's his sort of affiliation? Yeah, is he a company guy or is he just a guy?
Absolutely.
Oh, he is a company guy. Well, that doesn't help what I'm about to say. A few days ago, Mr. Deadass, yo, took hostage a good friend of mine, Matthew Antov. I'm sure you know Matt. You know Matt, very obvious, relatively well-known Manor member.
I do.
Where he disclosed to Cal that he was the Manor. And are you sure you want to take us hostage with a Manor? To which he said, okay, and took him hostage anyway. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I wouldn't have taken you guys hostage. I wouldn't have took a company member hostage.
Oh, see, there you and I might have disagreements. See, I consider that life in Los Santos. See, there's certain kinds of violence or threats of violence that are personal, and some that I see as more impersonal. Even I've been taken
agree.
hostage for a bank job before. I actually found it rather thrilling.
I don't disagree with the whole that's life in Los Santos thing, but I do also think, like, for example, right? I know full well if you guys needed a hostage for a laundromat and you saw Rami running down the road, you wouldn't grab him. You know, there's certain people that you wouldn't take as a hostage. So if it's not personal, then it needs to be a situation where that applies to everybody. Because if I see you not taking those people hostage and then you're happy to take my people hostage, from my angle, you obviously have less respect for us than you do for them.
You know what? You make a great point, and I agree with you. The example I gave, though, still applies, and it really depends on the person. And there's sort of I don't know, you could even say a sort of tier of respect here. For instance, I said it's impersonal, doesn't matter. I wouldn't take you hostage for a job. This is true.
Just like I wouldn't take you.
Yeah, Cow taking Matt, though, well, that calculus might be different. And if it was different, why was this never brought to any of the board members?
To be honest, I think it was a situation where it was kind of a, well, this happened, but we got a lot of other shit going on right now, so it wasn't really at the forefront. But then obviously, I would say that made the boys more inclined to go ahead with what they did to OTT. I think had that not happened, OTT probably wouldn't have been touched. That's literally the biggest lie SK's ever told. But you've got to gaslight. You've got to be a prick in this lifestyle, bro.
See, I had no idea about this with Cal. If I had been there...
That is such a cap.
And because I know Matt...
That is literally such cap.
Matt is someone who I wouldn't have taken hostage. You're right. But...
Yeah, what's good, Meeva?
That escalation from Cow, who probably doesn't know who Matt is, taking Matt hostage... Presumably, because like I said, that's life in Los Santos. You know how it can be. Sometimes you need a hostage right in the moment. Even if you have no intention of, really hurting them. But to go from that to then robbing one of our board members? Well, you see the predicament it puts me in.
I understand you're in between a rock and a hard place. I could see that. I can see the escalation.
Particularly, actually. This is a very easy decision for me.
And what's the decision?
I've told you. We're going to use this as an opportunity to show why doing that is a bad idea.
Okay. My question to you is, when's that going to happen? Because thus far, Brecker's been in a bin.
I'm not one to keep score, but, you know a guy named Ricky?
I do know a guy named Ricky.
Yeah, I hope his gunshot wounds are healing. I was actually the one who treated him on scene.
You shot Ricky?
Not me. Personally, I detest shooting guns. You can thank me, though. I saved his life. He was bleeding out in the street.
I wish that was Ricky's first bullet. That man is... He's close to my heart. I won't lie to you there. Shooting Ricky is... It makes me feel a type of way.
Yeah, and I've had people shot. That makes me feel a type of way as well.
But I believe he is on a steady recovery, and as it happens, I think we took another gun today. From Swan, who actually, I believe, is the person that actually gets you guys your civilian guns.
Yeah, that one I'm not particularly happy about.
See, the thing is, company has a lot of people involved with it, which is great when it comes to, you know, the Sandy Shores, you know, weed stuff, you know, other avenues. But it also means there's lots of loose lips.
Well, we do have a lot of people, and while maybe it's true, potentially there's loose lips, potentially there's not. You had a moment of Benji Ramos being around the other day. Raymond Romanoff has been out of town on a business trip. Let me tell you, I mean, I pray for you. When Ray comes back, oh, that man has been itching for this for so long. Oh, his propensity for violence is unmatched. Ray Romanoff has had to endure so many slights to his character, insults to him, and he's had to tuck his tail between his legs. And now, the softest person in the company, Mickey Sinclair, is going hands-free and saying, do what you want, Ray? And he has an arsenal of guns to use? Oh, he's going to be ravenous.
How big's the arsenal?
Big enough.
Big enough to throw away a crate. So it must be pretty hefty.
Oh, it's interesting that you bring that up.
How so?
You see, the way companies work is there's certain things known as expected losses. Walmart doesn't stop people from shoplifting because they don't need to. It's actually a bigger risk and liability for them to do that. So people just shoplift and they consider it part of their expenses.
So you see yourself as Walmart?
When it comes to Buckcoin, yes. I think it's no secret. We have an incredible operation. So if the cost is Buckcoin, why would I ever care if I'm just spending Buckcoin? Cryptocurrency? Why would I care if we give away a few crates that we don't really want to fight over? Because the more important part there is, why fight for a crate when we don't have guns? But I assure you, we did secure guns, and now we'll happily fight.
I mean, I was just going off what you told me, right? With the whole, we need to do this to you guys to show that, you know, we can't be messed with.
I have a question, Sparky. What would you do?
In a scenario where you was there?
Company interview. Yeah, company interview question. Sparky Kane, I've now promoted you to be CEO of the company. One of your board members was robbed despite identifying himself. What do you do?
You're talking about the situation we're in, not the crate thing.
The situation we're in, correct?
If one of my boys got a gun took off him, 100% I'm spinning. I would never deny that. You know, I'm not saying I don't know why you're doing what you're doing. I 100% get it. But that doesn't change anything for me, you know? The game's the game. You from the South. Tough life in the South. You gotta be, you know, either monster or food.
I have a good question for you. let's say you have a massive supply of cryptocurrency to buy ammunition crates. Your operation, let's say you only have 1, maybe 2 firearms, though, that you can use to secure it. And you realize that there's another group that is going to contest that crate. What do you do? Do you contest it with the 2 guns, even though you know that the group that you're going against likely has way more, possibly waiting in an ambush? What would you choose in a leadership position there, Sparky?
Based off of prior scenarios, we turned 2 guns to 4 with the exact people that you're referencing, so I would apply the same logic once more. We had 2 guns and we managed to get 4 off them. Things can be done properly.
Oh, sure, sure. How did you do it against them?
It was an ambush.
Well, now isn't that peculiar? So you're telling me that an ambush is a type of situation where you, even at a disadvantage, can turn it into an advantage. Huh. I think you might have misheard me, SK. Sorry, you're not the one ambushing them. They're likely ambushing you. Does that change your calculus at all?
It does make things different, but I could argue that, you know, I wouldn't have put myself into a situation where I'm doing an ammo crate with only 2 firearms. Preparation goes a long way, you know?
Fair enough. I actually agree with you there.
But
Except
look,
for the fact that,
I'm
we have
not here.
infinite buttcoin to waste, so.
Hey, buttcoin here, buttcoin there. Everyone got buttcoin. Like, I'm not here to talk on how you guys have been operating or any of that stuff, right? I don't care about none of that. We're here for us. What's going on with us right now? Now, I've heard talks that there's something put on the table. A clause to you know, walk our separate ways and capiche. But I haven't heard that directly from the source.
Oh. I would say return OTT's gun and Swandalure's gun. As a sign of respect and good faith.
Okay, that's what you put to the table on your side, and I think it's pretty clear. You know, we're not going to meet a conclusion for this today, which is fine. I will put the offer up on my side of you hash it out. What's took was took. I believe my boys, you know, had their pockets ran yesterday. And that's just where it lies. And I know you're not going to agree to that right now. It would be stupid for you to do so. But that's where my head would be at. Losses are losses.
I do believe Benji Ramos.
We move forward.
Yeah, Benji did some. I will even apologize and say Benji did sort of act in a way that I don't particularly agree with what he stole. He will be returning that to Ricky, I believe.
That's good because he has had no contact with his baby mum in like 24 hours. He's fucking worried as shit right now.
I think, SK, the bigger thing is not even what is returned or not returned. It's like I said, there has to be some understanding of respect in this situation. That's where OTT feels slighted.
As I would also. But much like great boxers, you can get in a ring with someone and you can come out with a lot more respect. I don't think it's an agreement we'll reach today. But, you know, I wanted to touch base, have a speak with someone that's one of the heads of the company. We'll see what tomorrow brings. You know, anytime you want to do these, I will always pull up by myself for a conversation.
Fine. We'll speak again tomorrow.
Appreciate the company, Breckers. Trousers are too short, but that's okay.